All right, what's up, everyone? Today, I'm going to dive into how you can get 7 times more revenue, 7 times more revenue from your webinar if you guys are running a webinar. So back years ago when I was managing a team of 50 to 60 sales reps, we were handling inbound sales and outbound sales for multiple 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs and influencers who were obviously spending very, very large amounts of capital going towards a webinar. And what I want to talk about today, because a lot of people have been asking me for this, is I'm going to show you guys the exact process. I'm not only going to show you the process that we use to get 7 times more revenue for those influencers, but I'm also going to give you the script that we use that I have tested and refined over the period of the years. And I promise you this works. So super pumped to dive into this, give you guys as much value as possible, especially if you're already running a webinar. So first and foremost, I want to clarify some few things, right? This process does only work if you have a VSL or a webinar already created, right? If you don't, then it's not going to be applicable, right? And I want to kind of go into the understanding of what a VSL webinar is really kind of meant for. And let me go ahead and share my screen and let's just jump right into it. So this is the typical kind of format here on my screen that a lot of people do. So just in its most basic form, right? Not going to overcomplicate this. But if you're doing anything high ticket and you are selling high ticket over the phone or over Zoom or whatever it may be, it's very simple, right? Most people will send traffic wherever the traffic comes from. I don't care if it's paid ads, if it's organic, if it's YouTube, if it's social media, if it's LinkedIn, if it's whatever, right? You're getting traffic to go to over here, which is just a simple landing page, right? And the landing page, as usual, is your, check out our training on blah, 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 XYZ, your training title, right? And the goal is to get them to opt in to watch your webinar or your VSL. So I'll put VSL here as well, because this still applies to the VSL. And then from the webinar VSL, they actually decide yes or no if they want to come here and book a call. And if they book a call with your team, then obviously you make money. So here's what's interesting that we found, right? So we already had a tons of influencers that were doing this. And I want to kind of show you guys a breakdown on the numbers of what we were seeing. So 7-figure millionaires, 7-figure entrepreneurs or influencers, whatever you want to call them, were converting 1%. 1% conversions. What that means is if 100 people were to come through this process, would make it through to the actual webinar, right? If 100 people would go through this process and make it to the webinar, the goal was out of 100 people who came through the traffic, 1 person would convert. So if this was, let's say this was a course and it wasn't a book a call, that means 1 person would watch the webinar and they would buy your course or program, right? Now, in this case, we're talking high ticket. So this is for like a phone funnel. They would actually, 1 person out of 100 would go and book a call. That was at the 7-figure level, right? So everyone's goal in kind of going get traffic was to hit a minimum of 1% conversion, because you know your math, you know your numbers, you know your cost to acquire a customer. Very, very simple. For our other clients that were at the 8-figure level, to give you guys context, 8 figures, that means they're doing a minimum of 10 million a year. They were converting at 3%. So to give you guys context, just to show you, just off of simple math right now, off the get-go, this means if you are currently running a webinar and you are converting at 1%, what most people would want to do to go to the next level to get 8 figures to hit is to fine-tune this entire process of the copy and the opt-in, making the webinar better, and how can we convert this to where we go from 1 person converting into business, right? Into, so instead of 1 out of 100, actually, and let me go ahead and clarify this. So this is 1 person that actually comes to a call, right? Just so you guys know. 1 person converting into a call to 3 people. So if you can get it from 1% to 3%, those were our clients that were hitting 10 million. Right? That 3%. And it was that big of a jump. Like the numbers going from 1 to 3 make a huge difference in batches of 100, just so you guys know. Now, through this process, all of this was inbound. right? This is what a lot of people would call inbound, because they went through, watched the process, they saw the offer, they wanted more information, they wanted to talk to a member of the team, or they saw information about the course and program, they wanted to talk to a member of the team, they would book inbound. So that was our inbound team. We had two separate teams that we were managing. We had a very, very large organization, and the other team was our outbound team. What the outbound team was in charge of was, how can we take out of 100, if there's 1 to 3 people that convert, that means there is 97, there's the potential of 97 people to 99 who didn't convert, right? They didn't book a call, which meant there's a lot of money on the table. So what we did for all of our clients is we added a step to this process. That step was on the opt-in page. Traditionally, what a lot of people would do is they would come here and they would collect email, right? They would just collect email and then they go to the VSL. So we said, well, listen, what would happen if we, instead of just collecting email, what if we just got their phone number? What if we just added one simple step to the process and we got their phone number? So that's what we did. So we came here and instead of opting in to see the webinar VSL, we collected phone number. And here's what we did. Our outbound team would call every single person here who opted in for this and did not book a call, right? And here's what's crazy. Through doing this process, as you guys can imagine, when someone books for a webinar or a video sales letter or something, most of the time something just came up, like they forgot about it, they just didn't get a chance to watch it, or they did watch it and they just had like a few questions. So through doing this, we were able to either get the individuals that were here and opt-in to go back and watch the webinar again, right? And because we're already on the phone with them, before they even watch the webinar, we already had them booked for the follow-up call. So let me say that again. Because we reached out to our outbound team here, was this the process you would want to do if you're watching this and you're solo? You just do this for yourself. Have your team do it. If you guys are already doing inbound and running a webinar, you want to add this. I will show you why. Through collecting phone number, we would reach out to every single person here, get them to, they would book a call in advance, right? Just give them value, say, oh, no worries. Listen, I know you're gonna have tons of questions. So I can set you up for success and answer your questions. When do you think you can have the webinar watched by? And let's go ahead and book a call. So they would already have a booked call here before they even watch the webinar, which just, helps with the elevation of value and making sure that you have the opportunity to see where their concerns are and turn them into revenue. Over time, we looked at the metrics that were coming in from our outbound team versus our inbound team, and we compared numbers from people that went through this process, the 1 to 3 who actually came and booked a call that turned it to money, versus the people we called to get booked appointments, that some of them didn't even watch the webinar yet, right? And some people didn't even watch the webinar and still converted into revenue. It was on average 7 times more revenue than inbound using this process. Let me say that again. 7 times more revenue than inbound. Why? Because I just told you, it is math. The numbers are right here. If one person comes in through traffic of opting in to book a call with you and your team, that means there's 97 and 99 people who were literally left on the table that, especially if you're running ads, you paid. If you're spending money on ads, you are literally paying to acquire these opt-ins. You're paying for those leads. And most people just don't know how to actually go and give value and convert leads into revenue. 7 times. The highest we had this, because this is just the average, the highest we saw was 11, just so you guys know. 1 month, we did the math and we were 11 times more profitable. But on average, where it averaged out towards like the different, all the different influencers and owners of the companies that we're managing for the team through this process, it typically averaged out to be about 7. So if you're not already adding the phone number to the opt-in and using this process, you are literally leaving 7 times more revenue on the table. So think about that. That means if you're converting at only at 1%, right? Because that's what a lot of people stress about is the whole, how do I split test my opt-in page in my webinar? And how do I make it better so I can go from 1% to 3% because everyone wants to hit the 8-figure level? Well, the fastest way to go there is to just go ahead and 7x what you're doing, literally by adding this one little trick, this one hack that is so simple. And here's what else is crazy. By adding this process in, by contacting everyone who opted in, we were also able to get feedback on how to make the webinar and the VSL even better. So think about that. From getting feedback from people over the phone, instead of spending all this money and stressing about it converting and going from 1% to 3%, you're literally getting market feedback on data that you know from their questions and their concerns of the phone call ahead of time to make the webinar better. So this is how you can hack your way to not only making more money, but hack your way to having the webinar and VSL convert faster instead of just blowing capital and split testing all, different webinars and saying this and this one internal belief and say this in the thing and put this one headline, right? You're able to get market feedback immediately just from being on the phone. Now you may be wondering, okay, well that's cool, Dylan, but what the heck? What do you even do and say? Like, how do I contact these people without being salesy and being pitchy and everything? So I already refined this process for you, and I'm going to actually give you guys, and below this video in the text of the description, I'm even going to put the script down there, but I'm going to put it on the screen here so you guys can walk through and how to use this script. So this is the script here on my screen. Okay, I want to walk you guys. I have literally tested everything. Okay, I have done all the lead work over years for you. And I promise you, this process absolutely works. It is the only script you need for you and your team to do to anyone who opts into your webinar. Okay, very, very low barrier of entry. It works. I'll kind of talk about the psychology of why it works. And again, I have tested everything. I've done the legwork for you. I promise you, if you are not already outbounding your leads and you use this script, you are going to average, on average, about 7 times more revenue if you are already converting a webinar into booked calls. Okay. And it is hey, first name. So this is the name, right? The first name of the contact information. So if you get name and email, you're going to say their name, right? And if you guys go to my playlist here on YouTube of my training videos where I talk about the Inception 8-step flow, I talk about in step 1 being the introduction, right? How to avoid fight or flight. That's why this introduction here on the script is the way it is, because I have refined it for you so that you are not sparking fight or flight. You want their brain to connect to why you are calling as soon as possible. So, hey, first name, this is your name. So if you are watching this and you are a closer and you are closing for an influencer or an owner or a B2B company, whatever it is, you are going to say your name. And the brand name and team name is obviously the brand, the company name, whoever you're closing for. If you're closing for an influencer, you would use the influencer's name. So let me give an example, right? One of my clients from now in B2B, the owner of the company is Laura. So we say, hey, Bob, this is Dylan with Laura's team. Very simple, right? They watch the VSO, they watch the webinar, they already know who Laura is. And here's the thing, they may not register. They're going to be thinking, wait, who's Laura, right? Or maybe your influencer is, like I talk about in the YouTube training videos, Mark Cuban, right? I would say, hey, Bob, this is Dylan with Mark Cuban's team, right? So now you're going to go into, I noticed you watched owner's training. Okay. Very simple. Whoever the owner of the company is, if you are the owner, hey, Bob, this is Dylan with my company name. I noticed you watched my training, right? If I'm the owner's name, I would say, and let me put that here for you guys too, owner's name, I would say myself. But in this case, I'll just give you guys an example, right? We'll say Laura, owner's name on webinar title. So let's say your webinar to booking a call is the top 3 investment secrets of 2022 to 3x your portfolio. I don't know, top 3 owner secrets. Whatever you guys call your webinar titles, right? If it's how to do XYZ and blah, blah, blah without yada, yada, that's what you would say. Okay. How to lose weight in 60 days without starving yourself, right? So, hey, Bob, this is Dylan with Laura's team. I noticed that you watched her training on how to lose weight in 60 days without starving yourself, but you didn't get a chance to book a call with our team. I want to say team yet. Let me add that here. Didn't get a chance to book a call with our team yet. So this is very, very important. Okay. In order for this script to work and to get more people to go and book to call, to get feedback for your webinar VSL, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Okay. This is where confused frame tonality comes in and does its work. Okay. We have tested this over and over again, and this script will work magic if you actually use the concerned and confused frame. So listen to my voice. Hey, Bob, this is Dylan with Laura's team. I noticed that you watched her training on how to lose weight in 60 days without starving yourself, but you didn't get a chance to book a call with our team yet. It wasn't something on our end, was it? Notice my tonality there. Like, notice how I started off but I'm holding like the concerned, confused frame. So the entire purpose of the frame, right, something I call frame control, is you have to imagine, if you're a closer, that the owner of the company literally just reached out to you. This is how you put yourself in the right state of mind before doing this, okay? Whether it's yourself or the owner of the company. Put it over here, state of mind. This matters. Now, if you're a closer and you're going to be doing this process, imagine the owner of the company literally just went to you and said, hey, Dylan, listen, all these people just watched my training, but they didn't book a call. Why? Was something going on? Was there a tech issue? Did it was go figure it out. Go get feedback. Go find out. Right? So if your boss literally just told you this, right? And now if you're the owner, you would just say, hey, looking at this, why did all these people not book a call? And you're the owner and you're calling yourself, right? That's the state of mind you want to put yourself in. Hey, Bob, this is Dylan with Laura's team. I noticed that you watched her training on how to do XYZ without blah, 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 but didn't get a chance to book a call with our team yet. It wasn't something on our end, was it? You see, you guys hear my tonality? It wasn't something on our end, like kind of concerned and confused at the same time. It wasn't something on our end, was it? And through doing this, when it flows correctly, what's happening is their brain's like, okay, hey, Bob. So Bob's thinking, I still don't know who the hell this person is, who's calling me, right? It's like, so we're teeter-tottering fight or flight. But with Laura's team, now he's like, oh, weird. Who's Laura? If it was Mark Cuban, obviously they know who Mark is, but whoever's team it is, I noticed that you watch the training. Okay, so now their brain is automatically going to the training. They're putting two and two together, but didn't get a chance to book a call with our team yet. It wasn't something on our end, was it? Now Bob's like, oh, okay, concerned frame, right? So Bob's guard is literally melted, and most times, this is what's so funny, 9 times out of 10, they would say, oh no, listen, no. I actually, I remember I registered for it, but my daughter had soccer practice at that time and I completely forgot, right? Cool. Now you, the owner or the closer, gets to just go into the process of just simply, it's a normal conversation. That's the whole thing. The reason why this script works its magic is because I want you guys to understand that even now over the phone, it could turn into revenue. But what we like to do is, if they didn't watch the webinar, we want the webinar to do its work. So we would just rebook them for the webinar right there on the spot, build value for why, still understand their pain points, have a conversation, well, oh man, so that makes so much sense. You got distracted. No, listen, no worries. What really kind of motivated you to want to watch the training in the first place? What do you have going on? Like, now I'm getting their understanding, like right there on the fly from the very first go, understanding their pain points, why they're watching it, building the value up of the webinar VSL. So now I'm selling them on the importance of watching the webinar VSL right there on the spot. So now they take it seriously and saying, so listen, I know afterwards you're probably gonna have tons of questions about the process, everything she talks about. I'm here to support you in this endeavor and anything that you need. So what I'll do is just in case you have any questions, I'll just reach back out to you. Do you think, webinar's about 45 minutes. Do you think that you can have it done by possibly tonight? If I were to reach out to you tomorrow morning, do you think you'd be able to watch it tonight? Awesome. Is it cool if I call you back? Cool. So this is my number. Go ahead and save it. By the way, my name is Dylan. Super nice to meet you. And here's another pro tip that we used to like to do, guys. We tested this out as well. Get them to take notes. Go ahead and just do me a favor, take notes, and then on your top 3, any questions that come up while you're watching it, can you do me a favor? Can you list like 1 to 2 questions during your note taking that you may have, and I'll be sure to go ahead and address those for you tomorrow when I call you. So awesome. Well, listen, have a wonderful day. And I don't know if you have soccer practice again tonight, but if so, tell your daughter I said good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So from holding the value frame, we avoid fight or flight. We literally, every single person that opted in obviously showed interest in the training. We're getting feedback, and we're selling them on the importance of why they should watch the webinar, and still letting the webinar VSL do its job, do its work for you. Okay, this is key. And getting so much feedback and booked calls and appointments, instead of just waiting for all of them to go into your email sequence and convert 7 to 14 days later and all that stuff. We're getting market feedback. We're taking action. We're getting people in booked calls literally immediately, and 7 times more revenue. Like, so if you're watching this and you think, well, gosh, this, I'm so afraid. Like, how do I call people? I'm going to be nervous. Like, if you hold the value frame and you're literally just calling them to get feedback for the webinar, now it's not salesy. It's not pitchy. It is so easy that anyone can do it. And the process is literally fluid from going a helpful standpoint. Does that mean that all 100 people are going to answer the phone? Of course not, right? Of course not going to answer the phone. You can literally just call and leave a message and tell them to call you back at that number. And does that mean that some people will not hang up on you? Of course not. Some people, they could be busy. You're calling people during the day. It does not matter. But I have a question for you. How much is 7 times more revenue worth it to you? That means if your webinar is converting right now on inbound for $1 million a year, that means you have the potential to get an extra 7 million with an M dollars of revenue just from leveraging this exact process that we used and refined for you. And I'm telling you everything A to Z, and turning them into multiple booked inbound calls now, right? So notice how it goes from outbound to watching webinar, pre-booking them, to now booking an inbound call. So, and you can tell them on the call, hey, listen, I'll go ahead and book you now because I know you're going to take notes. And at the end, when it's going to have an option to go ahead and book a call with us. Don't even have to select anything. Just watch the training. I'll go ahead and address any questions and concerns that you have, and I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you in 3 days, whatever it is. Fluid, ongoing. So now you're not wasting leads. You're getting a much better conversion cost to acquire a customer. You're significantly more profitable. You're getting market feedback to be able to make your processes of your opt-in, your webinar, and everything better, right? Because if I do have a follow-up and someone watches it and they're just like, let's say you do this process and 3 to 4 people were confused on something, right? Well, to let the owner of the webinar, or the company, or yourself market feedback from that conversation of helping them out, exactly what to go and make the tweaks of the webinar. What you're doing, this is where the hack comes in. The hack is the marketplace is literally telling you what to do. The marketplace is telling you how to make your process better. And you're getting 7 times more revenue in the process of getting market feedback. It is the most amazing hack that we have ever found for people running webinars. This was our value proposition as a team. This is how we even scaled when we were running 50 to 60 sales reps at a time, and had influencers from all over like flooding us saying, hey, I want what this person has and what that person has. Like, I heard that they're killing it. They referred me over to you. We got so much referrals because everyone was making freaking bank by adding this outbound thing, while everyone else is just doing inbound calls. This is all we were doing. This was the entire process that our team did. Right? So guys, I promise you this process absolutely works. Test the script out. Go to your opt-in if you're running a webinar right now, and add name, email, and phone number so that you can collect it. And again, I will put this right here, this text of the actual script below this video, so you guys can go. And just do me a favor. If you guys take this and use it and run with it, let me know in the comments how it turns out. Let me know what happens. Share with me your success and your wins. So I hope that this was mind-blowingly valuable to you. I hope that you guys will actually please take action on this hack, especially if you're planning on running a VSL or webinar for yourself, or if you're closing for someone who is. If you are a closer watching this right now and you are doing inbound, take the initiative and think about, and here's what's crazy. If you are a sales rep right now or a closer on a team and you watch this video, think about how much more valuable you are going to become to your influencer or business owner from going to them and say, hey, listen, I know right now I'm taking these inbound calls, but I want the opportunity to be able to scale my income by 7 times more, right? I want the opportunity to get more booked calls. If it's okay with you, can we add the phone number on the opt-in and just give me freedom and flexibility? I'll take initiative for you, Mr. Owner. And you guys literally just run the script I just told you. And I'll just go ahead and call each and every person that's on there, right? And you know what? And if it works, is there any way that I can get paid more commission? Literally, think how valuable that is to an owner. So our outbound team from doing this, not only 7 times more revenue, they were getting paid a higher commission than everyone else on the inbound team, right? Because it was just so valuable for the business owner. It was so much extra revenue that they didn't have that they didn't care. So if you're right now an inbound person getting paid 10 to 15%, and you want to have an extra skill set to go from 20 to 25%, right? Or get upgraded from closer to team sales leader on your team. Literally, all you have to do to give value is take the initiative. And also, pro hack, if you're watching this video and you're in sales and closing, and you're trying to find closing opportunities, this was our unique value proposition. While every other closer out there was offering to do inbound, is like, hey, can I take your leads and do inbound and get paid for a commission? We were reaching out to people and said, hey, I know everyone else is doing inbound, but listen, if you have a list of phone numbers and you're running a webinar, we'll call each and every one of them for you. We'll just call all of them and turn them into business to prove ourselves that we're good at what we do. And literally the owners, influencers, everyone's like just like mind blown. They're like, holy cow, wait, what? Yeah, let me prove myself to you that I'm good at what I do. And I'll just go to your list and I'll just get booked appointments and close. And you know what? If I do it, would that deserve the right for me to be on your inbound team as well? But what's funny is when you guys do this, you're going to want to do both, because now you're going to have an extra skill set if you're doing inbound calls. When your calendar and you get a no-show and you're like, crap, this person didn't show up, I have a whole hour. Instead of just sitting there twiddling your thumbs for an entire hour, now you can literally just go pick up the phone, run this script to everyone who booked a call, and get more booked appointments on the side. This is how you scale your income. Revenue for the business, your income as a closing or sales rep, or if you're the owner, this is how you scale the revenue of your company. It literally works like clockwork. So I hope this was valuable to you guys. Let me know in the comments how it works out. Make sure if you guys want to see more videos like this and share all the gold nuggets we're doing behind the scenes, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel to get notified when future videos come out. Also, make sure you guys are joining the B2B outbound Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group community where we do live outbound sales training every single month on Tuesdays. We'll do like live call breakdowns. You guys can actually hear the process of outbounds live in the group, sales training and process and all the same stuff we're implementing. So I'll link that down below in the description as well, so you can join the group. My name is Dylan Starr, and I will catch you guys on the next video.